Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my highlighter collection. I uploaded my blush collection a couple weeks ago and I got a couple requests for a highlighter collection, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. And honestly, I'm a little surprised of my highlighter collection because I constantly go in rotation of the same 4 highlighters. I'm surprised that my highlighter collection is really big. It's bigger than my blush collection, which is surprising. I feel like I need to do a declutter soon, so let me know if you guys would like to see a declutter, not just highlighters, like my entire makeup collection. But yeah, we have a lot to get through, but before we get started, I do want to thank Ana Luisa for sponsoring this portion of today's video. And if you guys haven't heard of Ana Luisa before, they are a sustainable jewelry brand based in New York. They offset 100% of their carbon emissions, starting from the source of their raw materials all the way to the disposal of their pieces, making them carbon neutral. They use really high quality metals, and I can testify behind that because I've actually worked with Ana Luisa I think 2 years back now, and I still wear those pieces that I got back then, and they literally look brand new. They have not tarnished whatsoever, so I can really stand behind this brand and tell you that their pieces will last you a really long time. And the best thing about Ana Luisa is also their pricing. All of their pieces are fairly priced and they start from $39 US. And I did pick out a couple of pieces and I want to share them with you. So we'll start off with my earrings today because I picked up 2. So the first one is called the Casey hoop, and I'm wearing that in my cartilage, in my helix, whatever you want to call this area. I actually got this re-pierced recently back in June on my birthday, and I've been wanting a hoop earring for my helix for the longest time, and I think this is the perfect one. First off, like I mentioned before, the material is so high quality. This does not affect my hair at all. If I was to wear something like fashion jewelry, if I was to wear that in my cartilage definitely would get affected. So you know this is really top notch, that I feel comfortable wearing this in my cartilage. And I really love how it looks. It's not like a full hoop, so it sort of looks like I have 2 piercings up there. So I really like how that looks, and it's just been there for the past month now. And then I have the Frida earrings. It's just a little teardrop pearl on a small gold hoop, and you guys know my obsessions with pearls, so when I saw this I was like, I have to have it. This has been my new daily first piercing earring. I think it's so dainty but so girly at the same time. And what I also love is that you can actually just slip off the little pearl charm and just wear it as a gold hoop, so it's like 2 earrings in one, I feel. So I love that. And both these earrings are $49 US. And then we'll move on to my necklace. This one is called the Lev. It's their puffed heart necklace, and again, you guys know my obsessions with hearts. So when I saw this one as well, I was just like, I need it. I love how the little gold heart is 3D, and the chain as well is quite unique. It's not like a standard thin chain. It sort of looks like little squares. This one is $59 US. And then the last piece that I picked is their slim rope ring. I got mine in a size 5 if you're curious about my ring size, but I wear this on my right hand middle finger. I could wear it on my left hand, but it's a little bit loose. It fits perfectly on my middle right, and I love how this looks. It's like a little statement, but it's not too much of a statement, you know. This would be nice to layer on with more daintier, thinner rings. It is called the slim rope, but to me it looks like a little croissant, so I love it even more. So if you guys would like to check Ana Luisa out, I think right now is a great time because they are currently running their Black Friday sales, so I'll leave all the info in my description box, so please open that up if you would like to check them out. And I just want to thank Ana Luisa again for sponsoring this portion of today's video. And with that being said, we can now jump into my highlighter collection. Alright, so we have a lot to get through, so I'm just gonna sort of speed through everything. I'm not gonna really dive too deep into little reviews here and there. Maybe some products I will review, but for the most part I just want to show you what's in my collection, and then maybe later on we can do a declutter of my entire makeup collection, because I sort of have this thing where I want to keep a lot of my Colourpop products because I'm like, you know, I can do comparisons, but it's like no, something's just gotta go. But anyway, let's start off with Colourpop because clearly that is what I have most of. So we'll start in the category of palettes. They have a couple of highlighter palettes and I have some of them. So the first one is actually a duo. This one is called House of Mirrors. This is actually a duo with a bronzer, and I remember really liking the bronzer because this is discontinued. I sort of stopped using it because most of the time when I do put on makeup, I am filming and I don't really like to wear discontinued products on my face because it's really sad when you guys ask me like, oh, what's on your face? And I'm like, it's discontinued. I feel like that's quite sad. But the highlighter in here is called Opening Act. That actually sounds quite familiar. That might be a single shadow. I'm not too sure. If it is, I'll link it down below. Next up, we have two of their quad super shock palettes. So the first one is called Crush on You, and this palette would definitely suit someone that had more of like a deeper complexion. 3 out of the 4 highlighters on me I would say is a little bit too deep. The other one is called Dream Sequence, and this came in I think their 2018 holiday collection. I think the shadows in here would suit my skin tone a little bit more, but they are a little bit more like crazy highlighter colors. We have like a pink, a peach, sort of like a rose gold and a light gold in here. Then we have some of their pressed powder palettes. This was their first one. This launched with their Yes Please palette back in like 2017. This is called Gimme More. I personally didn't really like this one so much, and it's actually quite comparable to the Nicole Guerrero ones shade-wise. I did compare it in my video years back. I don't really want you guys to watch that video because I had really thick brows and I was screaming at the camera because I was living like right by the highway. So yeah, I didn't really pick up this one much as either, just because there wasn't a shade that I really vibed with. But nonetheless, their pressed highlighters are really nice as well, because you guys know I love the Innuendo palette. I actually hit pan on the shade On the Loose here. You know, hitting pan on a highlighter, I feel like means a lot, because with highlighter for me, I feel like you don't really need a lot and you're going in with a really small brush. So once you like hit pan on it, I feel it's like, wow, she really loved that highlighter, and I did. This is still in my top drawer, but I don't actually find myself reaching for this as much anymore. My preference of highlighter definitely has changed. I think back then I just wanted the most blinding high shine Instagram highlighter, and this will give you it. You can build this one up. You can also just take a little and give you a subtle highlight as well. It's metallic, but it has, you know, little specks of glitters in there, not too chunky or anything. Very, very flattering on the face, and I do think this would be a nice palette if you are a working makeup artist, because there are deeper shades in here as well as lighter shades, and you get a good range of undertones. I think all around this is a really great highlighting palette if you just want some options. So obviously my favorite is On the Loose, but I do use this one Fine Line when I'm doing more cool tone looks, and I really do like Morning After as well. This one's more of like a rosy gold. But yeah, my preference now for highlighter is something like this, just very subtle. It's sort of like, oh, she's glowing from within, you know. It's nothing too intense. Like if it doesn't show up on my Instagram photos, I'm not mad about it, but I feel like back then I'm like, if I can't photograph my highlighter, then my makeup doesn't look good. You know, times are changing, and I do want to keep some of these like blinding highlights in my collection just in case, you know, maybe in the future I might go back to that preference again. But for now, I don't really pick up this one as much, but I still stand behind it. It's still a holy grail product for sure. And then I just have this little magnetic palette, and I have 2 single highlighters in here. So the first one is called Boujee Call, and then this one is called Boy Next Door. This one's actually quite nice. It's like a really nice golden color. And then moving into my little single compacts from Colourpop, this one is from their Disney designer collection in Coronation. Again, don't really use this one too often as well. It's a little bit more on the pinkier side than golden. And I have these 2 from their My Little Pony collection, which, you know, it just sounds so weird because I'm not really attached to My Little Pony. I didn't really grow up with that, but I'm just really, for some reason, attached to the My Little Pony collection from Colourpop. It just sort of made a moment for my channel. When I reviewed that collection, I started doing my 3 looks 1 palette, and ever since then I kept doing it, and I feel like that's what you guys know me for and what you guys love from me. So I feel like, I don't know, just this collection, even though I don't really use these highlighters, but they're really unique. I feel a lot of the earlier collections, I feel Colourpop really experimented a lot. And then my last compact highlighter is from the Zoella collection, and this one is called Swipe Right. It's actually quite similar to the Coronation one, where it's more of like a light pink with a gold flip. Speeding right along, we're going into our Super Shock shadows. So I have these two big kahunas. These are a little bit newer, but the first one is called Eurotrip. This came out with their like tie-dye collection. It has that sort of marble patterning in it. I find this to be quite glittery, which is not my preference. I do prefer more of like a metallic foiled highlighter, not something so glittery. Here and there I don't mind it, but this one is called Coastin'. It's from their Coastal Coral collection, which did release quite recently. They do look similar in the pan, but they are very different once it's swatched and on the skin. But for the original Super Shocks, of course, I love this packaging so much more, and you guys know my favorite, Lunch Money. I think if you have sort of like a golden undertone, or if you just like a sort of light golden highlight, then I think you'll really like this. I do think it does translate a little bit more silver than golden on the cheeks, but it's not too silver. So Lunch Money is always going to be a favorite of mine. Another popular one is actually Flexitarian. This one is very, very silver and white, which on my skin tone just looks sort of ashy and gray. I think it's just the contrast against my golden undertone, and then the white highlight is just, it doesn't really work. So I think these two are really good ones, but I think it depends on your skin tone. Then I also have this one called Thimble. This one is a little bit more golden than Lunch Money. So if Lunch Money was still a little bit too silver for you, then maybe Thimble, but maybe Thimble is discontinued. And then we have Kathleen's Super Shock highlighter. This was with her Zodiac collection, which I believe is discontinued as well. This one's called On the Cusp. I think this one's a little bit too dark on me, so I didn't really wear it as much. I remember it being really, really beautiful and high shine. It just, you know, it's a little bit too dark for me. And then I have two from the Bitti collection with Pony's makeup. The first one is called Frosty. It has a really strong golden undertone with a pink flip. And then we have Glow Burst. This one has, again, that marble patterning, and it does have glitters in it as well. I actually have used this one a couple times since my review. Some products, you know, after my review, I kind of forget about it, don't really pick it up, but when I do more like cuter, sweeter looks and I want like a pinky highlight, I do pick up this one here and there. I have two of their light sticks, which I don't even know if they still have. I don't know if they're still carrying these. I don't really use these either. It's not really my preference to go in with a stick highlighter, but I have the two shades Bullseye and Acting Up. And then I have three of their loose powder highlighters. This was like a very temporary thing. So the first one I have, it came in their 2017 holiday collection. I'm not really a fan of loose highlighters. It's just really messy. I would rather just go in with my Super Shocks or a press highlighter. But this one is called Gnomie. And then these two came in Shayla's collection in Pose and Boomin. I just remember these being way too dark on me, which obviously makes sense because Shayla, you know, has a deeper complexion. She obviously made highlighters that would suit her, but I do like how she did make these, and it did cater to deeper skin. And the last highlighter that I have from Colourpop is their Pixie Puff highlighter in Flyby. This came with their Flutter collection. I honestly have not used this at all. It does like feel really cheap, the packaging, but it's really cute. You know how you have this like big puff, very like Ariana Grande. It's actually really, really pretty. I feel like I should use it more. All right, moving into other brands that are not Colourpop. We'll start off again with some palettes that I have. So the first one is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. I believe this is like a face powder. A lot of you guys told me that when I mentioned it last time, but I use this as highlighter. Personally, for me, can't see myself ever sitting with this stuff because it's really glowy. Like I don't know, just oily skin things. This is the highlighter I'm wearing today. I'm using this one here, the golden one, which is called Radiant Light, and I just put that on top and it just gives you the most beautiful natural highlight. It really does look like you're glowing from within. It's not metallic. I would say it's more like a satin formulation, no glitters. It just really looks so stunning on the face. It is expensive, but I do feel like it's worth it. I was lucky enough to receive this as a gift from my friend. I then have the Smashbox Spotlight palette. This was actually in collaboration with Casey Holmes, maybe 2017 or 16. I thought these were discontinued, but I went into Mecca the other day and I saw they were still there, but I don't think it's in collaboration with Casey anymore. I remember just loving these palettes so much and I was like, why is no one else talking about these? Because they were so pretty. I have this one from Laura Mercier. This is their Fall in Love Face Illuminator collection. I don't know if this palette is still available, but I believe the individual highlighters are still there. And I remember back then we didn't have Laura Mercier in New Zealand, and my brother and my mom was going to the US, and I was like, I need this palette. You have to get me this, because I was just so in love with the print, like the indent. The formulation on this is really nice as well. Like, it's pretty foiled, but I was just really obsessed with the patterning of how it looked. I just thought it was so mesmerizing and so beautiful. It was just a thing that I needed in my collection, you know? And then my last palette is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is Nicole Guerrero's Glow Kit. I love Nicole. I still watch her. I watch all her videos to today. Been a loyal subscriber for a really long time now. The only shade I really liked in here was Glow Getter. Everything else wasn't really my thing, and honestly this palette really isn't my thing. It's really glittery, which again, you know, here and there sometimes you want a glittery highlight, but for my daily preference, this is not typically something that I would pick up, but I think the shades are really nice, and I know the palette did really well. And now going into my single highlighters and little compacts. The first one I have here is the e.l.f. Baked Highlighter in Moonlight Pearl. I remember this one being a really popular highlighter. Everybody was talking about it, and I do like it. I think it's a really high shine highlighter. For one, being at the drugstore, it may be one of the best ones for that really intense look, but I feel like for my preference now, this would be a little bit too white and silvery for me. This one is from 3CE, another baked highlighter. This one is called Bling Peach, and I actually got this in Japan, which I miss so much. I can cry. I remember the reason why I got this. I think it was one of Desi's highlighters. I bought a highlighter that was too dark for me, and I just, you know, back then needed a highlighter, or my makeup didn't look good if I didn't have a highlighter. So I went to 3CE because it was the only brand that I knew that was like cruelty free, which, you know, we still don't really know for sure, but I just needed a highlighter and I picked this one out, and this one ended up being too light on me. It's sort of like a souvenir, you know, I got it in Japan. I'll always remember that. And speaking of the Desi times Katie highlighters from Dose of Colors, I have both. Of course, you guys know Fuego, one of my all-time favorite highlighters. It is the highlighter that's currently in my project pan because I've been trying to pan it, and I really do love this one. I adore this. I'm glad that it's still available because for a while I stopped using it because, again, it was discontinued for a period, but then they relaunched with their newer collection, and now I believe it's still on their site and it's still in stock. So I just really adore this highlighter. I then had the Becca Opal highlighter, and this one also holds a special place for me as well. I remember, like, I don't know, in 2015 or 14, I got sent my first makeup package and I was so excited. It was from a brand called, I think, Cosme-D. I don't remember the name exactly, but I think it's something along those lines. They just sell a bunch of makeup, and I got to pick out a couple things, and one of the things that I picked out was the Opal highlighter because I've been wanting to try this out. It was sort of the first PR package that I ever received, and that feeling was just so exciting. And, you know, to this day, I'm still very grateful. Like, I sometimes cry about it, but, you know. But the next highlighter I have, this one is from AOA Studio. It's the $1 brand, and this one is called Snap. I actually haven't used this since my review that I did on AOA, but while I was filming my product shots, I was swatching this and nothing was like showing up on my skin. So this one I might like just declutter, maybe pass it on to my niece or something. And then my next single highlighter is from Ofra. This one is Nikki Tutorials Everglow. This was the original packaging. I do believe it looks very different now, and I believe each individual shade in here has its own name and its own compact now, so it's very different. Out of my entire collection, I always think of this one as my most blinding, like, outer space Instagram highlight. Whenever I needed something just to like be bang, I would always think of this one and go for this. Again, not really my preference nowadays, but I still like to keep it. Alright, we are now coming to an end. I just have my Kaleidos highlighters. I have 6 of them. The first one I want to share is Ray Rider, which is one of my favorite highlighters. This definitely has been like a holy grail discovery this year. The formulation on all of these highlighters are so amazing, and they're just really, really stunning, and I think they have really unique shades as well. They're not really daily shades, but if you want something different and unique, then Kaleidos got it, and I believe they are repackaging this. But Ray Rider is my absolute favorite, like, you know, just a really nice light gold champagne color that I love, and the formulation is beautiful. This is in my top drawer. You can see I love it because the indent is sort of gone. Some other ones that I have are Moon Cruiser, which is the blue, has a lot of pretty specks of blue reflex in there. I have Solar Sailor, which is a really strong yellow golden highlight, very beautiful as well, super unique to my collection. We got Diamond Dasher. This is one that I feel like I could wear on the everyday. It just has a lot of like little pink glitter reflex in there, very pretty as well. I love these under the sun, they're just so stunning. Then we have Comet Catcher and Mars Mounter. They're actually sort of similar. They have sort of like a pinky red undertone, but nonetheless still very, very pretty. And that, you guys, was my highlighter collection. It was a lot, I know. I definitely need to declutter a lot of these. Also need to declutter my whole makeup collection. So again, let me know if you guys would like to see a video like that where I declutter things and go through everything. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Is there any other category you would like to see a collection video on? I'd be very open to filming that. And again, a big thank you to Ana Luisa for sponsoring today's video. It was so nice to work with them once again. I'll leave all their info and links down below. But yeah, that is going to complete today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!